Alex Castellanos, one of the Republican Party's best-known, most successful media consultants and strategists, and he served as media consultant 7 U.S. presidential campaigns, including that of John McCain. You can often catch him as a commentator on CNN with his good friend and colleague, Jim Carville.
Hello, Fred. We're tight. We're tight.
You and Jim.
He's a good man. He's just amazingly and remarkably wrong about almost everything.
You haven't been able to do anything with him?
Well, we need Democrats like that to make Republicans look good.
I think we need a bunch of them, not right now. Hey, thanks for coming on today.
Good to be here.
I just got one preliminary question.
Fire away.
What is a rich man like yourself doing in Washington, D.C. this close to August?
I got to work harder because I'm going to have to pay more taxes soon, it appears. It's like everyone else in America.
Well, I tell you, it's gonna hit the rich like yourself, or those just aspiring to be rich like me. I think it's going to cover the waterfront.
Well, I think everybody in America is rich in opportunity, and that's really what they're going to tax. You know, I remember this fellow named Fred Thompson that stood up at the Republican convention and says the Democrats keep saying they won't tax you. They won't. What was it you said? They won't take water out of your side of the bucket.
I don't know. I figured you still got a copy of the speech.
They'll take water out of the other side of the bucket. It gets us all one way or the other.
That's right. That's right. You know, I've heard more people mention that to me. They won't. The Democrats say they won't take any water out of your side of the bucket. They're just going to take the water out of the other side of the bucket.
That's right.
Well, let me ask you what I can only ask a good friend, and without trying to display any knowledge of my own. What's on your mind today? What as you look at this? This turmoil on the Hill and the president doing his various and sundry things and appearances. What occurs to you of significance to the American people?
Well, you know, Fred, you look at the debates going on about this, whether it's the trillions that he's throwing at Wall Street, or the just billions to car companies, or trillions for stimulus package, and now trillions for health care. And the common denominator for all of this is just spending. It's just spending. He can't go a day without. It's an old story, isn't it? He just can't seem to go a day without spending another trillion. And I guess the thing that concerns me the most is when you back up and look at the forest for a second instead of just the individual trees. The major transformation that is in front of us now for America. This country could turn into something that we hardly recognize, where instead of looking at yourself and your family and your community at how you create growth and prosperity, people start turning to government because that's where the money is. And so I think we're choosing right now what kind of America we're going to have. And frankly, I'm just a concerned citizen.
Does it surprise you to see the polls where people in these tough times are ranking debt and deficits ahead of health care in terms of their concerns?
Not a bit. Most Americans are very happy with their health care. Yes, it's expensive, but it's also the best health care in the world. And over 92% of voters have health care coverage. So we've got one of the great health care, if not the greatest health care system in the world. And again, why we're having to bankrupt it and hand it over to bureaucrats to fix a few problems with it is an amazing thing. But no, people have figured it out. That money he's spending, that's theirs. That goes on their tab. That's debt we're going to have to pay. So no, it is a big concern.
Well, he's trying to tap into what he feels like everybody is thinking, and that is that their health care costs too much. Mm-hmm. So they're willing to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Mm-hmm. So they're willing to take all these chances and run all these risks of a big government plan because their policies cost them too much. The policies that they get without any taxable income being attributed to them at work in all likelihood, and that's just not panning out for him. You know, there is a health care problem out there that's looming, and that is the retirement of the baby boomers, and and the entitlement programs and so forth. But you know, if he would just be honest with it, he's not doing anything to solve that problem, and he doesn't trust the American people. And I must say, I mean, it's just about everybody around here is that way on Capitol Hill and the White House. To tell them straight out that there are no free lunches. He's promising this brand new entitlement program. He's going to clamp down on costs that are not going to hurt anybody or cost anybody anything, and he's going to solve this entitlement problem without anybody having to lift a finger. And people know that's a misrepresentation.
Fred, when was the last time Washington made something cost less? Can you remind me? Am I missing something here?
Well, you know about the estimates on Medicare, how they turned out to be.
Well, I think that's a good lesson for us. You know, I think the big debate should be, where are we going to put the cost-saving mechanisms? Now, Republicans want to control health care costs. Democrats want to. We got two different ways of doing it. Republicans want to put the cost-saving mechanisms bottom up, where patients and doctors are, because wherever you have that control, that's where the power is. So Democrats, what do they want to do? They want to put those cost-saving mechanisms in Washington, so they have control. So who do you want to control your health care decisions is what this is really all about. And I think that's the big debate we ought to have. You know, it's almost like we've got a big job to do. We got to mow all the grass in Tennessee.
That's a lot of grass.
That's a lot of grass. Now, the Obama's our way was okay, we got a lot of people in Tennessee with lawnmowers. Let's get to work and probably do a pretty good job in a day. Washington's way, the Obama way, I think, they'd build one giant lawnmower. And it would eat up all the gas in town, and it probably would run over Grandma's house. So, you know, that's the two different choices we have here on health care.
Well, that's absolutely right. And you're getting into some really important stuff. Can you stick around for a few more minutes?
Love to.
When we come back. But let me put this on the table first. One of the things I'm concerned about is the Republicans getting their message out there. We know there are several Republican bills out there that tap into the free market, and we know that at the end of the day, that's the only way we can solve these problems, with free market and competition. The way that we drive prices down on other things. Is it just the nature of the way things are? They're in, we're out, we can't get our message out? Or what could we do to make people know that it's not a party of no, and it's not like we think everything is perfect, but we don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Think on that one a little bit, and let's talk about it when we come back. And your calls, 877-973-7338. You got the Fred Thompson Show.
You don't have to miss a single moment of the show.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, that dang old internet, man.
Go to thefredthompsonshow.com 24/7.
The Fred Thompson Show is sponsored by Taxmasters. We're talking to Alex Castellanos, actually world-renowned media consultant and strategist. He's international. He must be good. He helped me get elected to the United States Senate twice.
I've always said, if you want to be a good media consultant, work for Fred Thompson.
What about that question, Alex? Why is it when there's so many Republican plans out there, all based on free markets, it doesn't seem to be getting out anywhere?
Well, it's just tough for Republicans to get a message through now, I think, Fred, for a couple of reasons. One, of course, we don't have that bully pulpit in the White House, and we're not the most charismatic leader in the history of the world as President Obama is. That's one. Two, when you're the party out of power, we don't have the House, we don't have the Senate, or the White House, so we don't have a platform. But I think the biggest reason is that there are a lot of Republicans out there who just aren't conservative enough, who think our principles are only good for saying no, and who don't have enough faith in freedom to believe it actually works, that it's actually good for saying yes, that it's the best way to organize society and solve the world's problems, that freedom is the greatest force for good and progress in the history of man. So I think we need to have more faith in our principles, that they actually work. They organize society. They create jobs and growth. They bring competition to health care, as you just noted. For heaven's sakes, competition is such a good idea. Even the president's pretending he's for it now.
Well, it's what our country was based on, what our Constitution is supposed to be based on, and it worked pretty well for a couple hundred years until we quit trying it. Alex, if you don't mind, let's take a call here a minute, and let's talk to Al in Savannah, Georgia. Al, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for calling.
I'm doing pretty good, Senator Thompson. It's a pleasure to talk with you.
Well, it's my pleasure. What's on your mind today?
Well, I don't know if this is addressed in this bill that he's wanting to pass, but where are all these extra doctors going to come from?
Well, that is a very good question, Al. A very good question, because they're claiming that they're going to put another 45 million people on the rolls, as it were, and you know, some of them, when they need help, they go to emergency rooms and all that, cost other people money. There's some truth to that, but now we're going to put them all on the health care rolls, and we're going to treat them with the doctors that we've got. The fact of the matter is, we're not going to get more doctors. We're going to get fewer doctors. If they come up and pass this public option that they're talking about, it's glorified Medicare.
Yep.
And they're cramming down now on the doctors and the hospitals and Medicare anyway, and that's what they'll be doing to get their savings if they pass this health care legislation.
Yeah, Fred, I think that's exactly right. They're going to one of the things they're going to do, Al, is when they put more people on the rolls, that means it's going to cost more, so they're going to have to tighten up and shift costs to save money. So what are they going to do? They're going to cut payments to doctors, to hospitals, to nurses, to the people that provide you health care, and so guess what? Guess whose insurance rates are going to go up to pay for that? It's going to end up being folks like Al.
Al, thanks for calling. Appreciate it.
I don't see too many of these doctors staying around working 80, 90, 100 hours a week, only getting paid $10 an hour.
They're not going to. They're not going to do that. You gradually, it won't happen overnight. People will gradually stop going to medical school.
Don't worry, Al. Those politicians in Washington, they'll play doctor. They know everything.
Thanks for calling, Alex. Let me ask you. We got about a minute left. Let me ask you, basically, politically, how's Obama doing? We magnify everything around here, but how do you think he's doing politically?
I think politically he is in a heap of trouble, and we're going to see that in the 2010 elections. His popularity, his personal numbers are going to stay up. He represents this kind of a better America that a lot of people thought they voted for, an America where we don't have as much racial division. So people kind of don't want that Obama to fail. Mm-hmm. But his policies, they keep sinking like a stone, and what he's doing is tremendously unpopular. He's going hard left in a center-right nation. What's going to happen in 2010? Obama's not going to be on the ballot, but his spending will be. His big government will be. His higher taxes will be. His Medicare cuts will be. And how are people going to send him a message? Well, they're going to vote against a lot of Democrats in swing districts, and I think you could see 30, 40, even more seats change hands in the House and go Republican.
And that's exactly what these blue dog Democrats are seeing, and why they're doing what they're doing to stop some of this stuff, Capitol Hill. Alex, thank you for being with us.
Good to talk to you, Fred.